In Week 8, the 4-2 New York Jets traveled across the country to take on the 2-3-1 Oakland Raiders. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the starting QB for the Jets, 875 yards, 7 TDs, 8 INTs on the season. Start things off late first quarter, play action to Ivory, Fitzpatrick rolls out to his right, here comes the pressure, and Fitzy throws a pick to C.O. Moore, the third-year linebacker out of Connecticut. To then pick things up in the second, and Fitzpatrick is sacked in the end zone by Curtis Lofton. That's a safety. Your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. So it's a 2-0 Raiders lead, and then Derek Carr marches out onto the field for the Raiders on his own 26, drops back. Here comes the pressure when nobody's open. He just runs backwards and takes a huge loss from a Muhammad Wilkerson's sack. So the Jets would take over with 6:52 left in the second. Play action to Coleman, rolls out to his left as Fitzy, hooks up with Zach Stacy playing fullback on the day, who crosses into Raiders territory with a nice gain on the reception. So then later on in the drive, it's 3rd and 7. 5-step drop from Fitzy, airs it out to the end zone, and Brandon Marshall. Big-time receivers make big-time plays, and that's a big-time play right there. It's now a 7-2 New York Jets lead. So heading into later in the second, Fitzy rolls out to his right and throws a pick to who else but C.O. Moore, his second INT of the day on both sides. So then they would drive down, and with 5 seconds left, Sebastian Janikowski, the lefty kicker, knocks down a field goal to make it a 7-5 Jets ball game heading into halftime. So in the third quarter, I formation, pitch to Chris Ivory from the Jets. He takes it to the outside, finally gets pushed out inside Raiders territory at the 36-yard line. Big rush by Chris the Ivory Tower. So 1st and 10 now, as Fitzy hooks up with Devin Smith, the rookie out of Ohio State, the Ohio State University, picks up a first down to the 13-yard line. Very next play, Fitzy drops back, hooks up with Tevin Coleman coming out of the backfield, uses his strength to get down to the 1-yard line. So he's on the 1 in his first reception of the day. He would lose a few yards on a rushing attempt, so he's on the 4 on 2nd and goal, but then he would drag 2 men to the very back of the end zone before he's going down. Tevin Coleman, sheer strength, makes it a 14-5 New York Jets lead. Later on in the third, the Raiders have the ball. Derek Carr hooks up with Luke Wilson, who crosses into Jets territory down to the 41-yard line. And then a few plays later, it's 3rd and 1. Hand off to Roy Halou Jr. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles. You can't tackle him until he finally gets tripped up from behind by Leonard Williams. And then the Raiders would not be able to score, and they would have to settle for a field goal after a nice 3-out stop on the goal line from the Jets. So now it's a 14-8 Jets lead over the Raiders. Pick things up in the fourth quarter. Fitzpatrick drops back, tries to hook up with Decker on the curl route, but DJ Hayden is picking it off. Bad decision by Fitzpatrick, his 3rd INT of the day. But nothing would happen in the rest of the fourth quarter, so about 2 minutes left. Fitzpatrick hooks up with a wide-open Brandon Marshall, gets down to the 28-yard line. And then the Jets would line up for a field goal on 4th and 13 with less than 2 minutes in the ball game, make it a 17-8 lead. So now the Raiders need more than a touchdown to win. And the Raiders take over with 35 seconds left, 4th and 22. All their marbles in this play right here. Derek Carr airs it out, and Andre Holmes somehow makes a one-handed catch. There was also defensive pass interference, so he's getting the ball in Jets territory. 2nd and 20. Carr airs it out to Rod Streeter. 31-yard touchdown for Rod Streeter. Derek Carr hooks up with them, and it's now a 2-point ball game, 17-5. The Raiders need the onside kick, but it goes right to Kellen Davis, and the New York Jets seal the deal, as that is how the cookie crumbles. The New York Jets come away with the victory over the Oakland Raiders by a score of 17-15, as the Jets improve to 5-2 on the season. Who would have thought? And the Raiders drop to 2-4-1. The two-headed tandem of the Jets' backs are Tevin Coleman and Chris Ivory. Tevin Coleman's average was pretty bad with a 2.2 per yards per carry, but he did pick up a touchdown on 19 carries for 43 yards. Chris Ivory had 10 carries for 70 yards, a 7 average. And with that being said, that'll wrap things up here for this edition of New York Jets football. Don't forget to tune in next time here in Week 9 as the New York Jets will head back home to play host to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been your host, JerseyBorn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Falling faster